Hello again from Firefly Ministry. This week we conclude Pastor Fuller's three-part series focusing on Elijah's last trip. A trip that would take him from Gilgal to Bethel, Jericho, and finally in a whirlwind and a chariot to heaven. It's a story that begins in 2 Kings 2. It was 2 weeks ago that I gave you an overview of both the cities of Gilgal and Bethel. At that time, I promised I would cover Jericho in conjunction with part 3 of the series. Now, ancient Jericho is mentioned more than 60 times in the Bible and was located about 5 miles northwest of the Dead Sea. Its first mention in the Bible is in Numbers 22 as the spot across the Jordan where Israel camped after God delivered Og, king of Bashan, into his hands. Later, God instructs Moses to go to the top of Mount Nebo and to look across the Jordan River towards Jericho and to survey the promised land before his death. But probably most notably, Jericho is famous as the first town conquered by the Israelites after crossing the Jordan River some 1400 years before Christ. We find the story related in Joshua 6. It says, "Now Jericho was securely shut up because of the children of Israel. None went out, and none came in. And the Lord said to Joshua, See, I have given Jericho into your hand, its king, and the mighty men of valor." We all remember the story of how God delivered Jericho into Joshua's hand. And according to the biblical account, Jericho remained abandoned until Hiel the Bethelite reestablished it some 5 centuries later. Early on, Jericho was a heavily fortified settlement that gradually witnessed the birth of agriculture, animal husbandry, the first use of modular mud brick in architecture, and the invention of pottery. It is believed to be the oldest continuously inhabited city in the world. And a contributing factor to its survival was the protective wall surrounding it. From inside, its inhabitants felt secure from any threat posed by the enemy without. But its walls only protected what God allowed. They provided a way of escape for the 2 spies sent by Joshua to survey the city. And later on, one small portion of the wall would prove to be God's specified refuge of safety. There, Rahab and her family found their sanctuary. And of course, in the New Testament, we find Jesus using the story of a traveler journeying from Jerusalem to Jericho to teach what it really means to be a neighbor. We know the story as the Good Samaritan. This week, Pastor Fuller's message is entitled The Jericho Road. As we study this last leg of the prophet's journey, we will discover what it means to be preserved by trusting in God's ability to prepare us to enter our heavenly promised land. I want to invite you to join us in our sanctuary this Sabbath for Pastor Fuller's message, The Jericho Road. But if you can't do that, be sure to visit with us either on Facebook or YouTube for this Sabbath services. And until then, have a blessed week.